podcast up in the world right now, you know. Say word. OnlyFans, real estate, talking in fashion, let them know what's happening. Say word. On and off the court, in the field with the sports, let them know what's up. Say word. The conversation is active, from movies to action, it's the main attraction. Say word.
Another episode of the world's fastest growing podcast. We back in Atlanta, Georgia. I got a very, very special guest with me today. I got one of the original New Yorkers.
All day.
In the building. Represent New York, represent hip hop. My guy, Mr. Raymond Santana in the building. Clap for him.
Hey. Thank you.
And I got my special co-host today, Fancy. Let me clap for her.
Yeah.
Let me is this your clothing line? The Drafted by God?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Parky Madison NYC is my line.
Ooh, okay.
And then Drafted by God is like a sub underneath it.
Okay.
That I built.
What made you, I mean, I'm from New York, so this is a weird question to ask you. What made you want to get into designing your own clothes? But you telling me, how did that happen?
I always been curious since I was little. Mm-hmm. When I was young, my dad used to take me to the Gap, right? And he would let me go in there and shop, and he would let me pick out, because I was young, so he let me pick out what I thought was hip, and then he would follow and get like different colors. Mm-hmm. So at a young age, him and my uncle was pretty fashionable. And that was like my early stages. And then in prison, I started developing ideas. So I started just sketching them down because I've always been an artist. So, and it started from there. But it wasn't until like after settlement.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't until like after settlement, I was sitting with a good friend of mine by the name of Rashid Young.
Okay.
Who was vice president of Russell Athletics. Fat Farm.
I hear that in so long, Russell Athletics. We used to rock that all the time in New York.
Yeah. So I met him.
Y'all know
work.
That.
We don't know about that.
Yeah. So I met him and we was having this conversation one day, and he was just picking my brain, and he was like, what do you want to do? You know, the city settled, you got this money, you could just go relax. And I said, I have this dream to do a t-shirt line. And he just looked at me like, a t-shirt line? Why would you do that? Out of all the things you can do. And I said, because it's like a childhood dream that was unfulfilled, and I lost that. And I was chasing that ever since. And so I felt that now I had time to sit down, I can focus on it. And that's how we developed Park Madison NYC.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we started it. It was a t-shirt brand. And then Drafted by God came later on during the pandemic, sitting in the house, just thinking of ideas, and then it just develops.
I want to ask you, this is why I got you here, and this is for the world, because I don't think people understand how tough it was in New York in like the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, I know, and I remember going to see my grandparents in New York, like going to the city at that time. It was tough.
Yeah.
The environment was tough.
Definitely.
Like growing up there, it was like you had to really like figure it out at an early age. Can you take us back to that time, just the mental side and just being part of like that culture?
Yeah, 1989, I was 14 years old, right? Wow. Never had no dealings with the police. Just living the life of a 14-year-old kid, right? Loved to listen to hip hop music, sketch and write in my little books. But I lived in the Bronx at the time before I moved to Harlem. And so for me, that was the years where it was tough.
It's tough.
You know, I remember before we called it bullying, right? Yeah. The older dudes, they would rough you up. Mm-hmm. And my neighbor would scream out the window, leave them alone. You know, he'd be like, hey, I know they bigger than you. Grab something, hit them over the head. Mm-hmm. So those are the lessons that we was given early. You know, that toughness. And so it kind of stuck with me. You know, you don't think those are skills that you're going to need.
Definitely need them.
But you definitely need them. You definitely need them.
It's a fact.
It manifests itself several times. So, you know, for me, I always say like my upbringing, my hustle came from Harlem and my toughness came from the Bronx.
And if y'all know about the Bronx is one of the toughest, my whole fan for the Bronx is one of the most toughest places. My cousin was beating the mess out of me going to the Bronx.
Yeah.
Every week. And we used to go to Skate Key.
Yeah.
Remember Skate Key?
I remember Skate Key.
Oh my God.
I went to a last session when I was young. And the last session used to always be hectic at the end right before they closed.
Everybody had a razor in their pocket.
Yeah, you had to. That was
Everybody had a razor in their pocket.
Yeah.
We was like 12. Everybody had a razor on them, man. It was like, Yeah.
Because back then in the 80s,
everybody had a razor on.
You could be walking in the street and some big dude might hit you.
Yo,
just so the strength.
Like that.
It was like that. Or he wants your sneakers, or he wanted your jacket.
I had little feet, so I was good. Paul.
Yeah,
you know,
and they were strong arming back then.
Yeah, give me that.
So you didn't want to be picked up and slammed on your head, and then he take your sneakers off your feet. So for us little guys, that was a way of having protection.
That's a fact.
Yeah, razors. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Do you think those life lessons have impacted you on how you show up in the world today?
Oh, definitely.
Relationships with entrepreneurship, with everything.
Going on. Everything. Like I didn't know I was going to go to prison at the age of 14. So some of those skills definitely was manifested at that time, right? And then it just once you go through the system, for me, it's like an indoctrination period. It stays with you. It stays stuck with you. You never forget that stuff. Even to the day, you walk into a room and you see everybody's face. You scour the room. You kind of like see what's the escape plan, what's the exit.
Oh, wow.
It gets like that. It gets like that.
Let me ask you this. Obviously, everybody know you're part of the Central Park 5, and me personally, I want to do this interview because I wanted people to see the other side of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you in the hip hop.
Yeah.
I know you in the hip hop.
Heavy.
Into the fashion. So I didn't want to just be like talking just about the Central Park 5. But if you take us back to that time, when you heard the news that you was exonerated, did I say the word? Is that
I'm
correct?
gonna go with the exonerated.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say it again. Exonerated.
Yeah, 100%.
The feeling. How was the feeling? Because you was locked up when it happened.
I was locked up.
You caught a violation, right?
I was on a whole new case. I had a drug case.
Okay.
So I was locked up. I was serving a 3.5 to 7 year sentence. I was in my 4th year. I was getting conditional release home. Another 8 months when this whole thing came back. And so I remember them transferring me to this facility and bringing me into this room with the detectives, right? And you know, they try to lie in the beginning. They don't want to tell you why you're really there because it's an investigation going on that I don't know. Okay. I don't know if this investigation is going. And so they're trying to jam me up, right? But I stand on truth. So they even tried to show me pictures of Reyes at the time, and I didn't even know who he was. So they showed me a stack of photos of dudes. Some of them I knew, some of them I didn't. His picture was in there. I didn't pick him out. And so maybe like a day later, so I called my dad, right? Because they just shipped me out the blue.
Wow.
And so they shipped me out the blue.
You didn't know what was going on.
I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. They shipped me out the blue. And what happened was, this female CEO was talking. They was getting ready to transfer me back to the facility. And she said, your status is a other. And I said, what's that? And she says, either information or rat, or some type of rat. And I said, whoa, I'm not here for that. So we're going to clear that up. And so what happened was, I was kind of bugging out about that situation. I wasn't really sure what was going on. And so I wound up calling my father, and outside that investigation is running. So the lawyers, they know it. My dad knows it. Everybody knows it except for me.
That's crazy.
And meanwhile, I'm in the facility. I'm in Complex 3, which is maximum security. Mateus Reyes is in Complex 1 because the police is also talking to him as they talking to me, but I don't even know he's there.
What was y'all in Clinton or something?
No, this is downstate correctional.
Downstate, okay.
This is downstate correctional, and so when I called my father, and I'm like, yo, they got me here asking me about this old case, and he started laughing, right? And I'm like, what you laughing for? Like, this ain't funny. And he's like, no, the dude, he came forward, so now they're investigating the story, and I'm like, you bugging. Because to me, I'm so institutionalized and I've been through the system more than once. I know, I'm like, if they found this dude, they're going to make him the 6th man. They're going to sweep it under the rug. And then it's just going to be business as usual. So in my mind, that's where this is going. Right. And so after that, later on that night, we go to the mess hall. I'm in the mess hall, and now dudes is in the mess hall, and they start calling me, yo, Ray. And I'm like, what's up? And they like, yo, the dude. Now they start spilling it. Now the whole jail know. He in Complex 1. He telling everybody he here to tell them that he did it. And so I'm just like, yeah, whatever. right? And then I go to my cell and I lock it and I just start sitting and I'm like, yo, is this dude really doing that shit? And so the next day I get shipped out, right? They ship me back to my facility and then it gets quiet for a couple of weeks. And it isn't until one day I walk into the dormitory and there's this dude on the bed and he has the paper. And on the front of the paper is a picture of Mateus Reyes. And so I grab the paper, I read it, and this is when the news comes out, you know, that because by this time now, they done checked the DNA evidence, right? And then they match. And so now they know, all right, this dude is some truth here, but they still trying to make him the sixth man. So that investigation goes on for 8 to 9 months, where the police officers are trying to make him the sixth man. The district attorney is trying to get to the truth, and they just fighting amongst each other now, right? And so that's how it goes. And all the way until we get to we didn't know. We want to find out later on in depositions that they was bickering amongst themselves, where they were sending each other emails. And the district attorney was telling the police officers, he's like, no, y'all dirty. I'm not going to let you talk to Reyes because all y'all trying to do is make him the sixth man.
That's crazy.
And his MO already tells us that this is what he does on his MO says that all his crimes is committed by himself. And so now, because of them bickering amongst themselves, Robert Morgenthau, the police department was getting ready to sue the district attorney's office. They was getting ready to drop a lawsuit because they didn't want this to come out at all. They really thought we would be dead, right? They really thought that the system would do away with us so that if it did come out, nobody would be there to fight the innocence, because the city went against us like 1,000% we was guilty. They didn't even want to hear it.
I remember that.
Yeah. There was articles written about us all the way up to 2012 saying that we was guilty of something.
Yeah.
We settled in 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like
So,
I remember when the whole situation, I was like, I think either 9 or 10, but I remember just seeing it. I remember we were just like, damn, because everybody was rooting for y'all.
mm-hmm.
New York was rooting for y'all.
On the low.
On the you said on the low?
On the low. because within the first 2 weeks, there were over 400 articles written about us.
Okay.
Dissecting the lives of 14 and 15-year-old kids and how we were. That's where all the labels came in. Within those first weeks, everything happens. The labels of the Wilding, Wolfpack, Urban Terrorist, Donald Trump does the $85,000 page ad. That's the end of, we haven't even fully went through the system yet, right? And it takes about 2 weeks for the DNA evidence to come back. So by the time the evidence comes back and it clears us, this train is running, right? And so, and what we find out later on is that Linda Fairstein is the one who's feeding.
She's out of line.
She's feeding.
She's out of line, Linda Fairstein.
Oh yeah, she was
out of line.
She's feeding all the info, what she perceived to be the facts. She's giving them to the news media, and this is what they reporting in those weeks, right? And so by the time you get to the evidence comes out, it doesn't match. All you have is these statements, right? And then you read the statements, and the statement is like approximately 1,700 hours. Myself and 39 friends traveled southbound into Central Park, right? And when you read that, you go, what 14-year-old kid talks like this? Right?
Especially from New York.
Especially from New York.
Yeah, we talk like
so
that.
all these things that we're looking for somebody to say, this shit is wrong. And nobody's saying anything. Everybody's just like, oh yeah, they did it, fry him. Right? And that's how it goes.
Do you have a resentment against New York for that, in a sense?
No. For me, it just became, the battle was just bigger because you had to change so many people, right? Their minds. Like, it was like we learned so much in this process, because here it is, we thought that we was backed by our people, and then kind of found out we wasn't to an extent. So we had to reestablish that connection. And then we had to reestablish a connection with white America. It was all these lines we had to reestablish again for people to just look at us and be like, no, these guys were kids.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Now they go, oh, it doesn't make sense. And the time we're sitting there like, it didn't make sense back then either. Y'all just didn't want to hear it, right? You know, states changed juvenile laws behind this case, right? The 3 strikes law that got implemented in New York State, right? Yeah. The crime bill. everything happened once this case went through. Because what happened, let me backtrack a little bit. Linda Fairstein, there's a doc, right, called The Preppy Murder. Preppy Murder. It's a story of a guy, a white kid by the name of Chambers, right? And he claims that him and this girl is in Central Park, they're having rough sex, and he kills her, right? And so he went to this preppy school. His mama worked for some people that had a lot of money. And when he first got arrested, she went and hired this high-powered attorney. And what he did was he jumped out in front of the case early and made it look so bad that she couldn't prosecute the case. This kid wind up taking a plea deal. So now our case comes behind him. Okay. She learns from that. So she says, no. Let me I'm going to jump out.
Yeah.
So fast forward after laws have been changed, you've been exonerated. Do you think things are in place now for advocacy for situations like this?
We got to fight for that. We have to. It doesn't, nobody went back and changed those laws back, right? Because then you change those laws, you got to change some sentencing. You got to pay some people. They don't want to do that.
People will be coming home.
Yeah.
It changes everything.
They don't, like, you having problems with changing drug laws and you got marijuana's legalized. Like, automatically you're supposed to go back and let people out, right?
A lot of people be coming home. That's totally insane. New York's one of them states, though, even with the gun laws.
Yeah.
Everybody here got a gun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. You could never do that in New York.
No. When I first came here and I seen dudes just carried on the hip, and I was just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I said the same thing.
Crazy.
I like the same thing.
I'm like, where we from, you get caught with a gun, mandatory 2 years.
Mandatory.
That's how it is. Mandatory 2 years.
Got it.
You on Rikers Island?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like, out here, everybody got a gun.
Out here, it's different. My kid, I'm like, go get that gun license. Hurry up. Go learn how to shoot.
So, Raymond, outside of the brand, the clothing line, you seem to be a creative. Are there other things that you have in the works?
I just wrote a children's book, right? We dropping the children's book the top of the year. It's called Pushing Hope.
Awesome.
All right. And it's my story in illustration form, right? It's a different medium, right? Because we did books before. We got the doc, we got the series with Netflix. So it was just a different medium of space to try to see if I could tap into. Yes. Something different. There's also podcasting in the future. We thinking about doing stuff like that. Writing more memoirs, developing the brand, drafted by God, to make it bigger. So it's stuff like that we do, that we work. And then we still do the activist work. So there's still, when the Innocence Project calls us to support a bill, or district attorney calls us, hey, I need your support, I'm trying to get in office. So that's the type of stuff now that's it's different, right? Because in 89, we ain't have none of that.
That's crazy.
And to be here now in this space, and the district attorney comes from Harlem, right? Yusuf is a city council member.
That's crazy.
Cordell Clear, who's state senate, was one of our peoples who was fighting with us for many years. So it's like, to see it come full circle now, and then to have people in position that you could be this powerful, right? It's like,
it means something.
Yeah, it means something. It means something.
I gotta ask you this: after all this happened, and I guess some of the dust settled, being outside, people coming up to you, how was that? Like, when people approach you, how do they approach you?
Well, it depends, because like my life, it has gone in stages. Yeah. Like when you get, it's different. Like the Ken Burns doc is different from the Netflix doc.
Okay.
Right. The Netflix doc is different from when I started doing reality TV.
Okay.
Right. It's different levels of popularity. But it kind of gives me balance. Right. I've been in the room with Tyler Perry. I've been in the room with Sharon Rockefeller. Right. For me, it's when it comes to my kid, right? It's the impact that it has on my kid. It gives me credibility with my kid. My kid goes, oh, he's cool.
Yeah, okay.
I've been places with him, and certain celebrities show him love.
Yeah.
So now when you start preaching.
Yeah. Cause my daughter think I'm corny as hell.
That's how it be.
Yo, Until she sees something. Like, but I interviewed a celebrity the other day and she was so excited. But I know what you're trying to say though.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And then it's like when they step into that, like one time we was on a plane and she saw Queen Naja.
Oh, wow, okay.
And she's like, "Can I get a photo?" And Queen is like, "Well, you with your dad." All right. So she's like, "Oh, my dad got that type of pull. This is good. Yeah, he got that, you know?" So stuff like that, it helps. It definitely helps.
That's amazing. Do you stay in contact with the other 4 brothers?
All day.
Okay.
We operate like a brotherhood for real.
Okay.
Like literally, like we argue over sports. You know, we talk about shit all the time. Okay. Yusuf, you know, now he's city councilman. We on the phone constantly talking about stuff for Harlem. So yeah, we stay. We have our own chat.
Okay.
So we stay on the chat. So we do it like that behind the scenes.
What I want you to let the world know what you got coming out new, what's next, all that.
Drafted by God is up, right? Drafted by God is up. So we getting ready to drop some new tea, some new merch. This summer. Well, now we here, so it should be a couple of weeks. And then, you know, we still traveling, talking to the kids, going to universities. It just, you know, it gets a little rough because it's like as the story gets old, you know, there's always a new story that becomes hot, right? So you got to try to reinvent yourself and try to figure out ways to keep getting the message out.
The Netflix doc, do you feel like it captured the best it could capture the situation?
No, definitely.
I ain't gonna front.
No.
You ever seen Netflix doc? The Netflix doc. You seen it? The
I'm
Netflix
telling
doc
you the
is
truth. I don't want to feel.
No, listen. Just be like, it was too much.
It was so
It was so much.
Packed it so heavy.
Yeah, it was heavy.
It was deep.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
It is deep.
There you go.
It's deep, but it was, to me, it was dope.
You have to watch it though. People have to, like, they
it.
don't. It's if you get past you watch it the first time, it's very emotional.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's really why.
And then, but if you watch it the second or third time, that's when you start to see all the jewels. The way she sets it up, how she breaks down the system piece by piece, interrogation, police, prison, you know, recidivism, trying to get back out to society. This story touches all that shit.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And
that's
so
deep though.
And so she was masterful in that part, the way she put it together. But the story is us. The story, everybody went in those rooms and sat down with those writers and gave. And then the different, also, when you get to the Ken Burns doc, from the Ken Burns doc to this part, we grew. Okay. So we experience, we taste victory. We've been picketing and protesting and shaking hands and running around and being strategic because what people forget is that the civil case took 11 years to settle.
So that's the money case. Okay, damn.
Yeah, this was a no pay case.
I'm thinking y'all just got it.
No, a lot of people think that. People assume that. Wow. People like my story.
That's a minute.
No, 100%. My story, they'll go, oh, he got exonerated. He got the money.
Yeah.
He met Delicious, and he was gone. And it's like, damn.
I thought that happened.
No, it happened, but not the way people make it seem like it just happened like back to back. I'm like, no, there's like 20 years in that.
Wow.
Like, I'm exonerated 2002. I don't meet her until 2019.
We consider you like a legend too, though. Like, Delicious. Listen.
I get it. Listen, I get it. At the end of the day.
That don't happen every single day.
It don't happen every single day.
You know what I mean? Like, you can talk that talk. We here.
No, definitely.
Okay.
I'm from Harlem. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
You already know. Like,
yeah, I'm from Harlem. It's not,
Yeah, that's.
Oh, it's nothing.
Don't get it twisted.
I'm from Harlem. It's not. Like,
New Yorkers feel like that, though.
New Yorkers, we do.
Don't worry about that. That's just what we do.
Okay. That's just what we do. Like,
you know what I mean?
No, our life is gonna be lit. So when you come into our life, it's just gonna the light is just gonna shine on you. So that's just what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just that when you come to the table, you gotta come equipped.
Yeah.
Because then if your seat is shaky. If your seat's shaky, you can't sit down that long.
Now, at this point, this is not a conversation going different now. I'm
just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real though.
Your seat
can't be shaky. If your seat is shaky,
they out here.
Then we go, all right, let's fix the seat, right? First we try to fix the seat, try to tighten the screws,
Love this.
make sure it's not, and if it's still shaky, then you go, okay, this is something we gotta talk about.
Yo, New York men are so confident, yo.
That's true.
I can tell.
Like, we don't be tripping about, like, none of
Yeah,
it.
no, and it's the truth. We don't. We really don't. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, I done survived 13 years in prison.
Yeah.
I done fought against the system. I done fought against Trump. You know what I'm saying? I done got to sit with Oprah. I'm not gonna be tore down behind a divorce.
Absolutely.
That's a real fact.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. No.
That's a real fact, man.
But she like,
Okay.
she like, let me sharpen this knife.
I'm still looking for the ways to tighten up the table and the seats at the table, but I got it.
Because that's just what it. That's what it is. At the end of the day, when you bring somebody into your life,
that, though. Men need to hear you say things like that.
No, it's the truth.
It's the truth. No, I know that.
Do they?
Yeah, niggas be tripping over chicks sometimes, like ladies sometimes.
Man, we got to have a part 2 for this one, Mr. Santana,
That
because
wouldn't be me.
I'm going to beg to differ.
Man, dudes be tripping. I feel like if you've been through certain things, you should be able to deal with something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's
Totally got
easy.
that.
I'm not saying, but once you've been through so much in your life, like something like that comes, you just like, man, that's just another mark on the list.
No, they dragged me. I got dragged for 2 days behind a divorce. Like, and I'm sitting there like,
Dragged
okay,
in what way?
on social media,
I totally got that. Where
you know,
just
and they're just slander, just straight lies.
Wow.
And you gotta hold that, right? As a man, I can't get online and start throwing insults back, because then after a while, I don't even feel right as a man.
That's not our style.
That's not our style.
Yeah.
So what we do is we sit there and we hold it down. At the end of the day, when you have truth, you have truth. Everything that manifests itself, period.
Are the juicy details going to be in the memoir to come?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's really nothing juicy.
It seems pretty juicy. It got juicy in this last couple of minutes. Are you sure?
Nah, that was just keeping it real.
Okay.
That's just keeping it real.
Okay.
It's just keeping it real. Somebody comes into your life and you give them a shot to be in your life, and it looks like it's promising, and then when it starts to get rocky, it doesn't mean you leave. Right? It means that you really try to stick it out. You try to work it. But it gets to a point that you have to make a decision. Because if that person comes to your life and they say, look, I don't want to be here no more, right? Then you got to respect that decision.
Absolutely.
Then you go, okay, that's fine. So how do you want to do it? Right? Because everybody doesn't need to know how this happens.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
You can go your way and I can go mine, and it can all be straight. But and then you can't turn around and say, okay, I'm going to go my way, but I want all this. And you go, whoa. That doesn't work like that.
Slow down.
Slow down. You can't. That doesn't work. Let's be real.
You know what Grand Poopa said?
Yeah.
You know.
Slow down. And then you go, okay, so that doesn't work. Then you want to try to take me to court, and now we got to deal with the powers that be, and then they got to decide the fate. But when you stand on truth, you stand on truth.
That's what it is.
That's all it is. There's nothing. If me and you are in a marriage and we build something together, then it's equally.
I overstand that.
It's equally
build
right or
together.
wrong.
You got to build
right or
together.
wrong.
I would agree.
Now, if you come and you bring all this stuff with you, and all I bring is my name, and then I go to court and I expect to take some of your stuff,
Now, during that time of the interaction, though I came to the table with a lot, were you supporting in that time? Did you help me continue that or co-create anything?
No. If you co-create, then you are entitled.
Got it.
If you held me down in those 2 years while I built the new business, you are entitled.
That's a fact. I respect that.
If I create new money while you are there, you are entitled.
But you're not letting nobody touch the old money. You said it got to be the new money.
Thank you. You can't touch the old money because the old money was already there years before you came into the picture.
Okay, got it.
So you can't sit there and say, well, I want the old money.
I mean, they can. It may not be authorized or appropriate.
Well, the
but
judge
they
is going to
can
tell you
say
no,
that.
because there's a thing that's called personal property. When you
Yes.
come to a marriage, you have that stuff.
Yes.
All right. And so I go, okay, that's mine. Just like whatever you have is yours.
Absolutely.
And whatever we build together, we split.
You can keep the ironing board.
But and then if I try to build something with you and you say, I don't want to build nothing, I just want half of your shit, then that's not right.
I'm just going to say
Okay,
I'm
that's it.
just say all right, guys, because I don't know if you all really want to
She felt
dance
that.
this dance, but okay.
No, right is right and wrong is wrong. If you right, I'm gonna agree with you.
I hear you. I'm
That's
not
all.
saying you're wrong. I just said okay.
I'm just at the end of the day. Let's just be fair.
I do believe in
That's
fairness.
it. Be fair. The judge gonna be fair.
Okay.
The judge is gonna be fair.
That's a fact.
If you go in and you prove your point, he's gonna be fair. If you don't, that's not my fault.
Ooh, this book is gonna be good.
This
is going to be good. I want 2 copies. Okay, and I want it signed too. I want a special copy.
I got you. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
You're gonna be highlighting that. I mean, he said this
on this day.
On this day.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's true.
I'm okay. Well, thank you.
It's true. You know, it's just for me. I had to understand where I went wrong in the marriage. Mm-hmm. And it was just not having the patience to let it develop the way it's supposed to, right? So understand that, yeah, it takes time to really get to know someone. And then once you really get to know that person, then you can say, can I be with this person for the rest of my life, right? We tend to jump that part and just be like, oh, I could be with this person and then get into the shit. Mm-hmm. And then 6 months you go, oh, this is crazy.
I think we romanticize marriage. Love is a concept that came with Western society. Marriage truly is transactional.
100%.
I know you guys don't like to hear that sometimes.
No, it is.
But, there used to be, like a notary involved. Like it was truly just a contract and business. So I totally agree.
And I respect it at the end of the day.
Yes.
If me and you have a conversation about it and we talk about us getting together and what can come out of that, that's the agreement. We on the same page. And then when the ball starts rolling and it's looking promising, you can't change. I want to go in this direction now. But what about the agreement for us to go here? This is where it's promising for us to build some legacy, some financial, some stability for us. And you go left or you go right. So then I got to make a decision. That's how it goes.
I know Virgo. I believe you.
No, 100%. That's the Virgo. That's when the Virgo comes out.
I know
when the Virgo's like, you know what? I've been here for a while and this shit is not working. It don't make this boat is sinking fast. I'm out.
It's time to go.
Make sure everybody got a life raft. Or the little vest. Make sure everybody got a vest. And I see you when I see you.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Okay.
Man, we appreciate you, man.
No, you're right.
I do this thing.
Wait a minute.
I do this game at the end of the show. I kind of put you on the spot, ask you a couple questions.
Yeah.
Since you're from New York, I'm gonna give you some New York questions. And the first question gonna be Big Daddy Kane on Rakim.
It's crazy. I gotta say Rakim. It was like my introduction to hip hop is Big Daddy Kane though.
Okay.
Raw was my introduction. Like, you heard other records, but that was the record that when I heard that, I said, this shit is different. Okay. And then Rakim, the appreciation comes later. I was always a Kane fan.
Okay.
Until he went into the Taste the Chocolate shit. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I gotta exit. This is where I get off. This ain't for me. The half naked shit is not.
Next question is Brand Nubian or a Tribe Called Quest?
Brand Nubian. All day.
Okay.
Peace to the gods.
You said that fast. I love a Tribe Called Quest.
I know those
but see, Brand Nubian was for me that first album. That was it. So yeah.
Okay. DJ Clue or Funk Master Flex?
Flex.
All right. Queen Latifah, MC Light.
MC Light.
Big L or Big Pun?
Shit. Mm-hmm. That's fucked up. Mm-hmm. But I got damn kid.
That's a
Big Pun. Big Pun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last one is Jig or Big?
Big. Okay. Big is the greatest to me.
Greatest of all time?
Yeah, he's number one. Or for 2 albums.
Damn.
Yeah. That's just me. The impact. The impact, because I just felt like in those 2 albums, you got everything. Like that was New York. Like at the end of the day, I don't see too many people coming too close.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
I got Raymond Santana.
All day.
Check in. We appreciate you. New episode dropping soon. Subscribe, like, share. Say word. We up out of here.
The fastest growing podcast up in the world right now, you know. Say word. OnlyFans, real estate, talking in fashion, let them know what's happening.